live here?
Yeah.
You do?
Papa.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So what are you doing?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on. Help! Help! Did someone come here? Who chased her?
And I was like, I need to get in.
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming. And I'm like, that's...
She got all worried that she
Scared me.
How?
I'm sorry.
How did it scare you, though?
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, are you looking for somebody?
Well, you just have to understand my point of view.
A few moments later.
People are going as far as saying they're not genuine apologies, that I'm out to get him for whatever reason that is. I don't know how it could be twisted that way when I literally thought he was a white man. Multiple times when people were just saying like disgusting and just tearing down our family's name.
What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for subscribing and clicking on this video. I really do appreciate your love and support on this channel. Now today's episode, we're looking at this video of this palm-colored woman who actually was screaming at the top of her voice, running away from a man that was not even chasing her. And she said that she didn't believe that the man stayed actually at the house that he was actually walking towards to. She just walked to that house, rang the bell and ran away, screaming at the top of her voice after she saw the man approaching his house. And later when she was asked, she said that she felt threatened. And now she's on social media after this clip or this footage was released. She's on social media crying, and because people actually went, she actually faced a lot of backlash from this. People went and found her Facebook page and they were coming for her. And to make the matters worse, her friends were even defending her. I mean, why would a man just be at night walking in a neighborhood that's not his neighborhood? It's crazy, guys. And to make the worst part of it is that she's pretending that she didn't see that this guy or this man was melanated. And I think this is the reason as to why she ran screaming at the top of her voice, asking for help for no reason, guys. This man didn't attack her. He just simply told her, I live here. And she was like, no, I don't think so. I want us to watch these videos together, and as to why I saw this video quite interesting to share with you guys, because there are so many cases that I've read, and after doing so much of research and listening to what people have been saying and reacting on this video, is that there are so many men, black men, that have lost their lives because of false accusations from palm-colored women. And it's quite sad to see that this is happening in the 21st century. This is happening in 2025, and they are still using the same old tricks. I want us to watch these videos together. Every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on our today's episode, credits belongs to the original creators of these videos. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my good name is Gracey D. Kindly consider subscribing to this channel. Give this video a like. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. So let's dive right ahead to today's video, and we'll come back with more commentary.
What's going on? Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do?
Papa.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So what are you doing?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on. Did someone come here?
That was my wife. Somebody chased her up here, and she had the keys.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in the
There was a
silver
guy
truck.
in a gray truck, and he came
So
around the corner,
I don't know if you guys have a
I was
video.
in the street, and so I come up and I look at my kids, and so I'm like, coming home. And so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate. And he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope." And then he sat here and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's this lady screaming. And I'm like, that's...
She got all worried. There's some.
Scared the crap out of me.
How?
I'm so sorry.
How did he scare you, though?
I had a feel.
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, are you looking for somebody? Because I was pulling up out.
And I saw someone walking in our driveway, too. And I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
I'm
Well, there
sorry.
we got it. All right, sorry.
I would...
I don't.
She said that someone was following her. So you were walking from there?
You came this way, didn't you?
No, I came down this street right here.
Yeah.
And I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view. Being by myself with 2 kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, "Oh, it scared me," and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, this could be his house. But you didn't say, "This is my home." You just said, "Are you looking?" I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, did I live here? I said, yeah.
And you said, no, you don't.
And you said, I don't think you do.
It was obviously you could tell that I was really caught off guard.
Like I'm pulling in my, it's like I'm pulling in my house. Like this is not this neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio.
It is.
I don't. You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
Come on, baby. Go in the house. Let's go.
You told me that I didn't.
I'm sorry.
A few moments later.
People are going as far as saying they're not genuine apologies, that I'm out to get them for whatever reason that is. I don't know how it could be twisted that way when I literally thought he was a white man. Multiple times when people were just saying like disgusting and just tearing down our family's name. I once again came on and I said, if there's ever an opportunity to reconcile, like people going on all of my social media channels, hating on my faith, tying that to racism and me not being who I say I am to my family, to be on a lookout, to our business is destroyed.
Hey, Jeff here. By now, most of you know that story. For those who don't, let me recap. This white woman go and knock on a door. A black man, after a long day at work, is driving back home and see this white lady banging on his door. So he asks the lady, "You looking for somebody?" And she proceeds to ask, "Do you live here?" And he says, "Yeah." And then she says, as you see in the stitch, "I don't think so." And then proceed to take her 2 children, leave her stroller, and run and scream at the top of her lungs, "Help, help, help," as if she's being attacked. For her to turn around and come back with her husband and finally see that the person who she claimed was following him actually lived where she was banging at the door. And the wife of that person tells them, yeah, he lives there. And then old-fashioned white lady turn around and pull the most pathetic gaslight, as if she wasn't trying to have this man murdered. Because that's the plan. And I'm sick and tired of the fucking gaslight. She knew what she was doing. She was trying to have this man unalive because he's black and lives in his neighborhood and it's too nice for him. White woman knows exactly what they're doing when they do this. They are looking for violence to be put upon us. There's not a single white woman who doesn't know the story of Emmett Till. And yet, in 2025, you still see this. And that is why we say white women are the most dangerous demographic. Yeah, I said what the fuck I said.
It has barely been a whole 24 hours since TikTok has been back online, and already we are with the bullshit. This woman had the audacity to walk up on somebody else's property, pretend that it was hers, and when the owner came back, or when the owner was actually the one that she thought was following her because he was going home, she asked him if he lived there. she was reaching for his doorknob, ringing his doorbell. And he said, yeah. To which she replied, I don't think you do. Then she proceeds to snatch her baby out of the stroller and tell her toddler to follow her. Took off running down the street, screaming to high hell like somebody was following her. A few moments later, you'll see the owner's wife come out of the house. You'll see her talking to the husband of the woman who's running her stupid ass down the goddamn street. And she's asking what's going on. He's telling her somebody's following my wife. Somebody chased my wife. And she's like, who? So the woman comes back up and she's like, the man in the gray truck. And the woman says, he lives here. That's my husband. In real time, she attempts to gaslight them. This is amazing. Personally, I feel like the both of them were being just a little too nice. I understand the situation was fresh and a little shock had been there, but we're black, so we have to deal with things with a certain amount of decorum. Otherwise, we know it could end badly for us. If this is how this year is starting, well, the month is ending, really. But I don't want no parts of this. I don't. I'm going back to Red Note. What? Then the entire fuck is this? Expect to see a lot of this on your timeline today. This heifer is going to be the topic of discussion all week long. Or at least for the next couple of days until some other shit pop off.
So by now, everyone's seen the video of this Karen stalking this black man and his family. Now she issued this fake-ass crying apology. Whatever. I'm here to explain the phenomenon and what to do if it ever happens to you. So this is a power grab. This is what they mean by Make America Great Again. The common denominator in this situation is that the black person is on the same level or above as the Karen who's going to call the cops. The cycle is always the same. The Karen is nosy. They ask something personal that's none of their business. What are you doing here? Do you own that house, that car? What do you do? These are not questions a scared person asks. And how are they fearing for their safety if they approach the supposed threat first? They're gathering information. And when they get the answer that they don't want, that lets them know that the black person's on their economic level or above, it's now time for step 2. They give an order. So the Karen in the situation says something completely ridiculous. Leave the park. Show me your keys. Show me your deed. Show me your driver's license. They know this order is ridiculous and it oversteps major boundaries. They're testing their power. See, for most of American history, clearness has functioned as power. Back in the day, a clear person was really an authority just by virtue of their color. They could and did stop any black person they wanted to ask them for ID or ask them to prove their right to be in that neighborhood. Today's clear knows that the times are changing and that their privilege doesn't go as far as it used to. So they want to know if the black person and I have the same job or the same amount of economic success and they can live in the same neighborhood and enjoy the same privileges in most areas of life. What is a power I can still hold over them? How exactly is their clearness making them better? And when they realize black people are no longer obliged to obey them without question, that's the part of the video where the person starts screaming and shouting. In this particular case, faked screaming and shouting. They run to the authority under false pretenses. Calling the police is literally bringing out the big you-know-what. Law and order have always been the bedrock of institutionalized racism. The law is racially biased, and the enforcement of law has always been an arm of clear supremacy. To protect and serve means serving the clear property and clear way of life. And even if the black people in the situation are completely blameless, which they usually are, this is a power move because the clears are well aware of the history of the police and black people in America. The police are there to exert the power this clear person cannot. They can legally ask you for your ID or question your right to be in that space. But most importantly of all, no matter how right you are and no matter how wrong the clear is in the scenario, the clear gets all their power back by calling the police because then you are forced into a space of submission. They have to be calm and humble if you want to come out of the situation alive. And the clear, who had no right to be in your space to begin with, has now stressed you out and caused you trauma. That's the point. They're not stupid. They know legal segregation is not a thing anymore, and they want to make it so uncomfortable in certain spaces that we will just withdraw and self-segregate rather than having to deal with them. The clear flight is mostly over. The second wave of gentrification has shown there's only so much space to occupy. They will always have some black neighbors, so they pull this crap to assert power and dominance. You have to start cutting them off at the knees. First of all, do not engage. When they walk up, immediately start filming. Oh my God, I'm afraid for my life. Who are you? You're a stranger. Get away from me. Get off my property. I have my child in the car. Why are you coming? I don't know you. Get away from me. You have to start acting scared first. If you're in a group of your people, huddle up and say you fear being robbed. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. The reason this man and his family are safe today is because they had cameras in front of their house. Assume things will go wrong. Get that Ring doorbell camera. Get cameras for your property. Always keep that phone on you. Get a dash cam for your car. It is worth the money to protect your safety because the people are about to get out of control. They bartered their whole future for this. They know things are about to get tense economically. They gave everything away for the hope of having power over you. So they're not going to give it up easy. They will come up on you and try to flip the script. And think about the famous people this has happened to. This happened to that NFL player a while back. Even he had to be protected by other people and by cameras that proved the truth of what really happened. But if you don't have fame on your side and you're not financially valuable to the system like an NFL player, you need to protect yourself. And I know a lot of people who call themselves allies are going to watch this. So what you need to do, if you ever see this happening, you need to put yourself between the person who's being assaulted and the person doing the assaulting. Because this is an assault. This is an assault on people's privacy. You need to use your power to amplify the voice of the victim. If you're sitting out there on the fence like, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, well, why wouldn't you just show them your ID or your house keys or whatever? That would imply that this person, the clear in the situation, has the right, more rights than other people in that neighborhood. Like it belongs to them more. As expensive as property is in this country, if you bought a house, you own the land that you step on. You cover the ground that you walk on and you don't owe anybody an MFing thing. The other thing is the Karens, they don't play fair. You remember the ones that got the lemonade stand shut down, the ones who accused the little children of stealing a backpack and whatnot. They will go after your kids because they're an easy target. They know, or they believe that they know, that your kids don't know how to fight back. Teach them how. If you're going to let your kids be out on the street alone, which I would not advise at all, if you're going to allow that, teach them if anybody approaches them to run away, screaming stranger danger. No woman should be able to get that close to them, especially not one they don't know. If you're going to allow them to do some kind of community service project, if they're going to be selling candy door to door, if they're going to be selling lemonade, you sit out there with them. But honestly, let them go do that in a space you know they're going to be safe. Let them go do that at church. Let them go do that at Jack and Jill or something where they know the people. Look at her. She looks like a monster. This woman was looking for someone to take her bad day and probably bad life out on. And she thought she had found an easy target. And now she's out here telling obvious lies. Oh, it wasn't racial. I thought he was white. Ma'am, please. This man here with the long dreadlocks, you thought he was okay. But this is an excellent case study. I'll have to get the video later and post about it. But she's talking about oh, well, I have trauma because I was robbed when I was a little girl. And then 20 years later, somebody broke into our house and there were helicopters. And so because of two incidents spanning 20 years that neither of which you actually said had to do with a black person, you felt entitled to terrorize black people who had nothing to do with any of that. Cool. This woman is a terrorist. She wanted to assert her power. She wanted somebody to bend to her dominance. But the thing is, it's just like if you feed a mouse a cookie, because a lot of people think, well, maybe if I do show them the ID, I can't. Once you've done that, you've shown you're in a posture of submission, and they're always going to want more to satisfy their power lust. Because what would have been next? The deed to the house? And all that does is reify the idea that she is somebody who should be kowtowed to, and she's going to always want more. These are the people who are going to sit outside your house when you have a barbecue, taking down everybody's plate number. Oh, well, I just want to make sure they had the right to be here. And when you do anything that they don't like, they are going to escalate it by calling the cops. I've actually realized now I have to do a whole nother prevention video because there are so many other steps and tips to go over, and I don't want them to get buried at the end here. So yeah, like and follow for more.
Yeah, guys, so that is what happened. And I was sitting and thinking, like, what was really going through her mind? Or, like, I don't even understand how these people can afford to act this good, because this is a good act. And the reason as to why I'm saying this, I had done my own research and I went on Google, actually, the same one that these people have created for us to be able to do our own research. And I asked how many black men have been unalived or lost their lives or locked in jail because of being wrongly accused by palm-colored women in the United States of America. And Google said the exact number of black men who have been unalived or wrongfully imprisoned due to false accusation by palm-colored women in the United States of America is difficult to determine. However, history provides significant examples of racial injustice in this regard. So, the lynching era, that is in the 19th to the mid-20th century, between 1882 and 1968, over 4,700 people, yes, were lynched in the US, and about 75% were melanated men. Were melanated people. A large percentage of these lynching were based on accusation, often false, by palm-colored women. The most famous case is Emmett in 1955, a 14-year-old boy, after falsely accused by Caroline Bryant of inappropriate behavior. Wrongful convictions and false accusation. The Scottsboro Boys, 1931, 9 melanated teenagers were falsely accused of raping 2 palm-colored women in Alabama. They were convicted without evidence, with some spending decades in prison. Clarence Norris, one of the Scottsboro Boys, was sentenced to death before being later pardoned. Brian Banks, 202, not even that long ago, a black high school athlete wrongly accused of rape by a palm-colored woman. He served 5 years in prison before being exonerated. So, the modern day wrongfully convictions, according to the National Registry of Exoneration, about 53% of wrongful convictions for sexual assault involve melanated men, often due to false accusations or mistaken identity. I mean, at this day and era, do you all still say that we all look the same and that's how you mistake someone for a crime that they didn't commit? It's quite sad. A 2017 study found that melanated people are 7 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted of unaliving than palm-colored people. Many wrongfully convictions result from racial bias, coerced confessions, or unreliable witnesses. So, actually went on ahead and told me how many black men are affected. So, lynching and racial violence, thousands of black men were unalived, many based on false allegations from palm-colored women. Wrongfully convictions, hundreds of black men have been exonerated, but many more remain in prison due to racial bias in the justice system. Mass incarceration and racial profiling. The over-policing of melanated men means false accusations often lead to disproportionate arrests and convictions. Other more cases are like Groveland 4 in 1949. In Groveland, Florida, 4 young melanated men, Charles Greenlee, Walter Irvin, Samuel Shepard, and Ernest Thomason, were accused of raping a 17-year-old palm-colored woman, Norma Paget. The outcome, despite dubious evidence and coerced confessions, they were convicted by all-white juries. Thomas was unalived by a mob before trial. Shepard was shot by the sheriff during an alleged escape attempt. Irvin and Greenlee were sentenced to life imprisonment, respectively decades. 2021, they were both exonerated. Central Park 5, 1985. Brian Banks in 2002. Statistic insights, racial disparities in wrongful convictions. Black individuals are 7 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted of unaliving than white individuals. In cases of sexual assault, 53% of wrongfully convictions involve melanated men, often due to false accusations or mistaken identity. So guys, when I saw this video and I was listening to these woman and what she was explaining on what people should do in case of such things happening, especially with everything that's going on. You all know what I mean, after the results of the election. And now it's quite sad that I'm seeing so many crazy stories from actually palm-colored women, and I don't know why they do this. I don't know how this actually gives them happiness or self-satisfaction. I don't really understand how a human can be this. I don't even know how to explain it, guys. But I don't even understand how you feel threatened by someone who actually is telling you that they're coming to their home. And you've seen, as to what I've read after doing my Google research on cases that have happened, after listening to this woman on telling people on how to be careful at these times and in the next 4 years. Because these people are getting out of hand. These people are getting angry after the results of what they actually voted for. They voted to make the country great. But we're not seeing that. All we're seeing is them coming online and crying and regretting for their choices, because the promises that were promised to them haven't yet been delivered. Instead, it's the opposite of what was promised to them. So many believed that it's the other countries that have to pay tariffs. And now, after the new administration have already put tariffs on countries like Canada, China, and others, now we're going to see prices of things skyrocketing. After the mass deportation, there's gonna be prices of groceries also skyrocketing. The fact that some people are not showing to work, the ones that work at the farm, where you all get your fresh produces. So things are going to be expensive because some of these people are scared of being detained and deported back to their countries. So they're actually hiding and not showing up for work, and it's quite sad. And they voted for this, and now it's crazy to see them behaving like this. Thanks God, as the lady said, that the guy had the camera or the doorbell was recording everything, and also the house at the back, we could see her running. There is a camera, and she said it's time for each one of you to get cameras for yourself. It's time for each one of you, the melanated people, to always record any situation that's happening around you when you come across these Karens, because you don't know, she might go and say things against you, and when you don't have evidence, of course we know what they do. It's her words against yours, and it's sad that it has to be this way, but just be careful out there. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section, and thank you so much for watching up to this part.